How are you ensuring you have a measurable and lasting impact on the lives of your beneficiaries?
So again, I'll answer the NutriGreens and I'll pass over to Farah for food print. So long-lasting impact and being able to measure it is going to be key to the scalability and success of our project. So regarding measuring micronutrient malnutrition, it's called hidden hunger, and it's quite notoriously difficult to measure in actual quantitative values. So what we're looking at doing is we're looking to partner up with an NGO that has the capacity to do that in situation in Kampala, and because some of the techniques you use, such as taking blood samples, it can be quite invasive and it needs lots of resources. However, things that we can measure and that we definitely know we're doing is that currently we have our 3-month education curriculum, and we are implementing that as soon as they get back to school after the schools reopen in Uganda. And we know that that's going to go to 610 children for a fact. And then we also are working with a focus group of 19 teachers from the schools. And what that will do is we're going to have constant feedback with them, we're going to work with them, and they'll be the ones who'll be able to tell if this is making a difference to the children. So we're going to work closely with our partners, and we look forward to seeing the impact. So I'll pass you over to Farah now.
In terms of measuring our impact, so at Foodprint, we're constantly measuring our environmental impact by keeping weekly waste logs and weighing up the amount of food that otherwise would have gone to waste coming in from FareShare every Friday. We also use a multiplier provided by FareShare on their website, and that helps us measure the CO2 emissions, of which we've actually saved a great amount of 106 tons of CO2 emissions from the atmosphere. But in terms of our social impact, again, we like to keep track of the number of people we're redistributing to, whether that's the number of children in our school breakfast clubs or the number of isolated communities we go into with Foodprint on Wheels. Likewise, we're also measuring our impact by encouraging or inviting our customers to fill out surveys in our store. And doing so, they're given the option to provide us with the first half of their postcode. And from there, that enables our team to map out the impact that we're having around Nottingham and not just the Sneinton area, because food poverty is definitely a problem that goes beyond Sneinton. Although that is an area most affected, it is a national problem. In terms of making sure that we're ensuring long-lasting impact, however, we're very much aware of the fact that impact goes beyond just numbers. And so the real impact that we want to make is one that our customers and the community can feel in their day-to-day lives. So for example, last year we had Charlie, who worked with us as one of our volunteers, but amazingly this year she's been able to secure full-time employment for herself, her husband and her 2 young children. And in doing so, we feel as though we've made a type of impact that goes beyond just a weekly shop, but it's something where she's able now to set up a really sustainable and strong livelihood for herself and her family.
Thank you. And the final question, for the projects you presented today, how do you plan to grow and scale these in the future?
Okay, so again, I'll answer for NutriGreens and I'll pass over to Farah for Foodprint. So regarding our future plans, it's exciting. So in the immediate term, we're going to be constructing our large-scale greenhouse, which will have an 800 tray capacity. This will be able to means we can start supplying to even more restaurants and increase our revenue. And then that will mean then that we can bring on more schools on board to then start supplying education, as well as the vertical farm structures and the soil, seeds, and everything needed to sustainably get nutrition into school kids' diets. But furthermore, the actual vision, the ambition that we have is we want to be the key link between restaurants and schools and be able to supply that nutrition, as well as having a ripple effect in the whole community. Kampala, its population is going to double by 2035. That is huge and unprecedented. And for a city that's already struggling from malnutrition, this is going to be a massive problem. And urban farming and this knowledge that we're starting to bring over to Africa, that currently is in its infancy anyway, is going to be invaluable in combating this massive societal issue. So we're just going to keep going, keep scaling, as well as having impact along the way. So it's exciting times for us. Now I'll pass you over to Farah about Foodprint.
In terms of Foodprint's future plans, so we're we're aiming to continue to consistently provide to the isolated communities with our new innovation, Foodprint on Wheels. But as well as that, we also want to keep using the money from our second innovation, the Bread Brewed project, to invest that back into the school breakfast clubs that we already redistribute to. However, as this innovation is looking to grow and expand, we want to double the amount of children that we are impacting in school breakfast clubs. The aim for us is to really get another 3 or 4 schools added to our redistribution network. Once this expansion has happened, it will also give us the means to supply even more of our dried apple smiles to additional schools in our network. Therefore, we will be providing more school children with a healthier, nutritious and filling breakfast. In terms of our Foodprint store, in terms of our future plans, we want to continue to provide more food, and the aim is to really open more days than we are now, just so that this community who already can rely on us just continue to grow their faith in us, and can rest assured that we'll be there to help them and help provide for themselves and their families. And it is just about giving back to the community that they're very much a part of the project as much as we are. So in our future plans, it's very much about keeping that communication going back and forth, and strengthening those existing relations.
Okay, thank you. That's the end of the question and answer period. Well done, guys.